The same technique that we have used to create the triangle, just that instead of having 3 sides we are using only 2 sides. So for the starter size we do a sequence of 1 corner bead, 7 side beads, then again 1 corner bead, and 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, let's count again, 2, 4, 6, 7 side beads, and they go in a circle, and this would be the base row, row 1. Continue with step 2, with row 2, where we add 2 seed beads as an increase for the corner, and we peyote the sides by just adding 1 seed bead, skip the next one after the bead where the thread goes out, and go through the next one. And here we do the peyote stitch on the first half of the base circle. Here we are adding the 2 seed beads for the increase, and peyote the sides again. Here we have to step up, so we go through the last black bead and the first red bead of this row. Okay, and now we continue until we have 4 increases on the increased line. Let's make together another row. We are going to peyote using the seed beads that stick out from the previous row, and just make sure you do add a bead before the increase and after the increase. If by mistake you miss one of them, at the end the shape won't close properly. So after this comes a peyote. So peyote before and after is a must for all these open shapes. And I'm telling you this because the peyote stitches are not very obvious there, and it's very easy to miss them. Here we are adding the last bead of the side, so we have to step up. So go through the last 2 beads in the increased line and continue like this 2 more rows and come back. Here we have our 4 increases, and you can count them 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this row we are going to add only 1 seed bead over the increased line and continue to peyote stitch the sides. And here you can decide if you want to leave the side with the same color or in a contrast color. Add the peyote stitch before the increase line, only one bead on top of the increase line, and then continue with the peyote stitch. Try to control the work by having a decent tension. Don't try to have it too tight. And here we have the last stitch, so we step up like this. Now we have finished the first side, the first layer of our shape, and we have to move the thread from here to the first bead that sticks out from the first row of the work. So we do it like this. And now we peyote stitch and where we are, the next seed bead is the single corner one, we just go through it. And you see that already the second side starts to lift up. And peyote through the first bead that sticks out. And again, peyote, go through the single seed bead of the corner, and here we are at our step up side. So with the thread coming out of the red, we pick up a black bead and go through the last two seed beads that stick out. And here we have finished the first row. To make sure that we've done it right, let's count. So we have on this side 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the other side we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've done it correctly. We should have obviously the same number of beads at the end of the row, so we have stepped up correctly. And now we continue with peyote on the side and creating the increase. And here we have an increase, pick up to red and go through the next black bead. Okay, and peyote, to make it easier, just press on the work so the side comes up easier. So like this. It's quite difficult, but you like it, so don't complain. Okay, here we have the increase. We are just using 2 seed beads, 2 of the red ones, and here we are near the step up again. So here you see a big gap, the last 2 from the big gap. With the step up we end a row, so we always check, if we are not sure that we've identified the stepping up side correctly, how many beads, peyote beads, we have on both sides. So here I have on, let's say on the left side, 1, 2, 3, and on the right side I have 1, 2, 3, so I know I've done it correctly. Now we continue with another row of increases. So here we have the peyote stitch, the corner, the 2 beads increase on the corner, careful with the thread, continue with peyote stitch. If you turn the work on the side, it's easier to see. And one more for this side. Now we have the increase line. Okay. And here we have to identify again, where do we have the step up stitch, and you can see here that here is a bigger gap compared with this gap, so there we'll have our step up. This means that we have here a peyote stitch, here we have the step up, and we step up through the last 2, and now we count again to make sure we've done the right thing. So on this side, the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, on the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. We are okay. Here we have 2 increases. Now we start the 3rd row, and you can continue on your own until we have 4 increases. If you want to stay here with me, we can do it together. And the first increase, peyote, just turn the work on the side. Before the increase we have to put a peyote stitch, and now the 2 beads of the increase, and another peyote stitch after the increase. Here we will have also the step up, and the step up is here where we have the bigger gap compared with this one. and here it is. Go up through the last 2 beads in the stack, and we check again how many beads we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that stick out on the left, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the right, and that's very good, very pleased. And now we are working on the last row of increases, the last row of the second side. Peyote before the increase line, then 2 beads for the increase line, peyote after the increase line, peyote before the increase line, the second increase using 2 seam beads, and here we are looking for our step up. Peyote after the increase line, and here you can tell that the step up is here because it's the larger gap. The step up, as you see, is always moving on the second side, and here we have the last stitch of this row. Step up, go through the last 2 beads, and that's us. So let's see again, let's check how many beads stick out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well done us, and should be okay now. Okay, and the last step is for us to zip up the sides. To zip up the sides, we only have to take 1 bead from one side and then the next bead from the other side. So we are not adding any more beads. It's very important that in this step you actually press over this middle, so, and the tension, just keep the tension middle, decent, not too much, otherwise the work will curve too much. Here we are at the increase line, so we take 1 bead from one side, the single one from the first layer, and we go back to the second in the increase line from the second layer, and we just continue to take 1 bead from one side and another bead from the other side. A very nice shape if you want to use it on its own or as a connector in a necklace, or even as a clasp, a toggle clasp. That would be entirely handmade. And here we are. We are near the corner, some 1 bead from one side, the next from the other side. Go through the first bead from the two in the increase. Careful with the thread. Then go through the bead, the single one from the other side. Go back through the second bead on the increase line from the second side, and now we are zipping up the half side that is left here. Okay, one bead from one side, a few more stitches, this bead, and then another one, and here we are back to where we started. And here we can just weave in the thread, and that's our shape, which also looks like a mouth. Mr. Dali would be very pleased to see it. Okay, so this is an easy shape to have if you have mastered the open triangle. Obviously you can make it bigger, wider, with different colors. The sky is the limit. Thank you for watching. Please comment if anything is unclear or you couldn't see too well. I tried my best. Subscribe and hit the bell button to keep updated with the posting. Thank you. Bye bye.